Good morning, YouTube. Thank you for dropping by. Thank you for stopping in at the channel to see what's happening. As you can see, this is a relatively new channel. It's still in its infancy, and having said that, I thought it would be nice if I could just share with you some of the issues that I had when I first started using my GoPro to record, and how I got over some of the issues that arose when using it on a motorbike in July 2023. So there were a few issues to come over, but it's a learning process, and I think that maybe if I talk you through some of the solutions that I found, then maybe it'll help somebody. So here we go. Well, first of all, this is the helmet that I took to my Himalayan trip. It's just your bog standard adventure helmet. As I thought I was only going to be doing this once, then I didn't spend a lot of money on it, but it did save my head when I hit the deck. Okay, more of that later. So here we go. Just standard helmet, chin mount on the front for the camera, and then I also attached some side mounts if I wanted to use some side mounts, but I found those a bit awkward in the shot as you got a lot of the helmet, so I tended to stick a lot with the front chin mount, but also I had one up on the helmet peak here, which I found also very useful, and at times that was the only place I could put it. Okay, so one of the issues that I had, or one of the concerns I had with the GoPro, is that the battery life, as we all know, isn't great. Even if you switch everything off and you're only running on bare minimum. I recorded at 1080, I think, to try and reduce the file size. But even with that, I could only really get an hour's worth of battery. And what I didn't want to be doing is stopping every hour to swap the batteries over. Even though we had chargers on the bikes to keep the batteries charged, the spare batteries charged, I didn't really want to be taking my gloves off, and you know, it's a faff. So I thought, well, how can I find a different solution to that? And the solution is your battery pack, because this thing will just keep going for hours. So what did I do? Well, simple really. On the other side of the helmet, you'll see, I don't know whether you can see that there. Obviously, you've got the lead coming into the camera mod, into the media mod, and that trail back all the way to the back of the helmet, where you've got the USB. Now, look at that little tab. I don't know whether you can see that. You've got a little tab there, just super glued to the back of the USB-A, I think it is. And then that was into a cable. You see the little protrusion just here, yeah. And then that went, obviously unraveled, and that went into the back of the, where are we? Into the back of the power bank, as like that. And then I just slipped that in the back of my jacket in the little poacher's pocket. So then I got a lead coming up my back into my neck, and then just clipped it into the helmet lead, good to go. And it absolutely worked a treat. The reason why we got one of those on, little tab, because if you're trying to, you know, it's difficult enough to try and get two USBs together. You never get it right the first time. So, and when you've got gloves on and whatever, and you're trying to fix it at the back of you, it's like, is it in, is it there, is it there, is it this way, is it that way? With the tips, with the little pips that I've super glued on, you can feel where you are, and makes that a whole lot easier. Sorry, the cable securement is done on the helmet with these little things here. I don't know whether you can see that. It's just a little cable router. Get these off the internet for pence. Just feed your wire in, clip it down. Perfect. Okay. I had intended to run a microphone on the GoPro setup so that I could put some commentary on it. But if you've seen the videos, you'll notice that there isn't any commentary, and there's a very good reason for that, because on the second or third day, as you'll see, it was very, very wet, and I actually left the bike skidding down the road, and my face hit the ground, and as it hit the ground, it just ripped the GoPro off the front. Thank goodness I had a cable tether to the camera, so that just left it swinging. But what it did do, it ripped the mic jack plug out of its extension. It just ruined the mic. Now, the reason why I wanted a mic on it, other than giving commentary, is so that I could utilize the voice command. Yeah, GoPro take a photo, GoPro start recording, that sort of thing. But what I found was it didn't seem to want to work very well. And as it happened, it didn't last long because the mic was ripped out anyway. So, but later, what I did find when I got home, and I was a bit obsessed with trying to get this voice command working, only to find that whilst you can get in the back of the GoPro, when you go into settings, you can set it for voice control English American, English Australian, and English Indian. What it doesn't do is English Wolverhampton. So it doesn't seem to like the Black Country dialect, but there you go. So anyway, that was my setup for recording the adventures in the Himalayas. And in fairness, it worked really well. I found that I had I'd also taken the GoPro remote, the remote control, which I fixed to the handlebar on the bike, which actually worked very, very well. And whilst I did want to use the camera for taking photographs as well as video, I found if you could let it running, because you've got no worries about battery and whether it's going to run out, you could leave it run for a long time. And then when you're viewing through the footage, even on the camera, you can take screenshots from the videos, which is very, very useful. Okay, so when I got back to the UK, I thought, I like this. I could perhaps do a bit of this on my normal day-to-day biking. And when I go on other trips that don't require adventure helmets, because normally I do mainly road riding and not so much the off-road adventure stuff. So what I'd like to talk to you about now is the issues that I encountered when trying to transfer that GoPro technology over to my standard road riding helmet. Okay, this is my standard helmet of choice for my road riding. It's an AGV Sports Modular Carbon. Very nice, very comfortable, very quiet. And obviously you've got the flick up aspect of that, which I really like. Now, the problem with that is how do you, well, clearly you can you can use your chin mount at the front to mount the camera, which is what I do, which is great. But then it also raises an issue of how do you get the power from your power bank into your helmet when you've got a helmet that opens up, that flips open. Because clearly if you put your cables, if you run your cables from the back of the helmet to the chin, when you open it, you haven't, so it's all a bit messy. So this is my solution. My solution is a springy cable. So let me show you how it works when I've got the camera on it. So here we go then. This is the helmet with the camera mounted on the front. And this is the power cable that joins in here, and then it's a springy cable or a curly cable that goes down to the back, and you've got your little outlet lead here. So when you're using it, it works like that. So you've got no wires trailing as you're riding along. Nice, neat solution. I thought, okay. So I've got my mic. My mic for the helmet is in there, so that just links into the media mod just there. And the mic I use is just a normal lapel mic that I've shortened down, so that just fits inside the chin piece here and then hangs down the side, ready for the mic pickup. But whilst that works really well, I was a little bit, I thought there might be a better solution than the solution of having the connector to the power bank. Remember the power bank? Well, I thought there might be something a little bit neater than that. Then every time I took my helmet off, I'd got to do this business and unclip the leads, and you think, well, is that really an issue? Well, to me, it was really, and I was looking for something easier than that. So I came up with this little solution, and it's a little device, little thing I've made to add a couple of GoPro connectors, J hooks and what have you, just to and then there's a carbon. See, I've got a little sheet of carbon there with Velcro on the back, and that sticks a power bank onto it. Now, what I then did was, so that just snaps onto the back there and pushes in, and then you get the, my intercom's talking to me. So then you've got, I know it looks a bit like Alien Attack, but what it actually serves to do is it balances out the helmet, because the camera with the media mod on the front is quite heavy. And it does tend to pull the helmet down a little bit, whereas with the battery pack on the back, that balances it out and it makes it really comfortable. I mean, the AGV is a light helmet anyway, being carbon, but with a camera and the battery pack fixed to it, then that does make it a little heavier. But honestly, once I'm riding with it, you don't notice it, and as I say, it is balanced out. So that is my solution to constant power from my GoPro. So hopefully I'll be welcome. It'll be good to hear any comments. I expect a barrage of abuse for the fact that I've got this battery on the back of my helmet, but it works for me. So please leave your comments if you like. You can. I spoke to a guy called Simon from That Biker Simon, and he does a moto vlog, and I would be happy to point you to his YouTube channel. Very interesting guy. I picked him up from, or I first became aware of him because he did the August Nomadic Nights Roof of India tour, which was the month after we did it in July. And his videos were very good, very entertaining. So I spoke to him about, because I was interested what sort of setup he ran. And much to my surprise, it's really low tech. But having said that, it does the job. And this is just to prove that you don't have to go to perhaps some of the effort that I'm trying to go to, because his videos are great. He told me that because I was asking him about microphones and how to switch the cameras on and off as he's riding along and all that. And he said, I just use one of these. I just use an iPhone cable, plug it into the mic, and that's where my commentary comes from. So I thought, okay, that's a good solution. And then in terms of the question about how to stop and start the camera, he said, well, I just press the button. I thought, yeah, okay, that works. But for me, I prefer to do it on the fly without having to lose concentration from riding the bike. So I'd much rather be being fully in control. I'm sure Simon was. He'll tell me if he wasn't, but I'm sure Simon was fully in control. But I didn't want to keep stopping and starting just to get the camera rolling. So that's two ends of the spectrum, I suppose. I tried for the ultra slick version by going voice command, but GoPro doesn't like the Black Country accent. So I had to rely on the old press button technology with the remote control. Either way, I suppose you just choose whatever's good for you, what works for you, and this just happens to work for me. Okay, good luck to you all. Thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you find it a bit useful. Leave your comments down below if you like. I'll be very happy to read them. And if you want to subscribe, just what do we YouTubers do? Press the subscribe. Okay, thanks a lot. See you next time.